What is up, everybody? To Reverse TV here today on the Cinema channel, and we're going to be reacting to the real reason the original Power Rangers were fired. Now, I never knew that the people were fired who made the cast was fired who made the Power Rangers. Well, it kind of makes sense now because you've seen it for one season for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers thing, but you didn't see anybody else. But I believe Tommy, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, and White Ranger. He became like a recurring character for different seasons, different arcs of the Power Rangers. So I think he's pretty much the only one who kept coming back. Like occasionally they had like different specials where you see like the different other characters sometimes, but mainly the White Ranger was the one who kept coming back in general. So yeah, but apparently they were fired, which is wild. I never knew that, but this is from the channel Nerdstalgic. They break down why this happened, and this is interesting because I never knew that. But this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers probably have been the most popular iteration of Power Rangers to this day. I remember watching this as a kid, and having the toys, the VHS tapes, having all the like T-shirts, all the memorabilia you could think of. I had that as a kid of the Power Rangers. Power Rangers was a big thing back in the day, and I don't think they never really caught that same magic again. Like when they do like try to do new Power Ranger stuff, like when they do like movies, like it's always released like the first season, like a reiteration of that first season. So this was definitely like their goal mount this first season. But yeah, let's see why the people were fired, because it's kind of crazy. But it's kind of weird because you would think, why would you fire the people who did this, and they were like, the show was like super successful. So this is gonna be interesting. So let's get into it.
Back off, Frank Price! The good guys are here! Get off our planet!
Because we're the Power Rangers! And we're not backing down! Yeah!
Okay.
This is one of the most lasting entertainment franchises of all time. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers exploded into the 90s with Megazord-like force, and since then has become a key element.
Yeah, this is the reboot movie.
Over the last 28 years, fans of the Power Rangers have been treated to 3 feature films, over 60 comic books, and over 900 episodes of spin kicks and giant robots with no signs of slowing down at any time.
That is crazy, bro. This franchise is still going on, which is just insane. Like, how is it still going on? I know they got conventions as well. Like, I think maybe on a yearly basis or no. I think it happens like every other year or yearly basis. But it is crazy that this franchise is still going on. And I heard the comic books are even better. I remember I used to at my old job, my coworkers used to talk about Power Ranger comic books. He used to say like it was a whole bunch of cool stuff in the comic books. Like it was like different dimensions, and then you got like the evil Power Rangers, stuff like that. So this franchise is just insane. I kind of wish they put some of those like the alternative like comic book stuff into movies instead of just focusing on the first season of Power Rangers like they did with the last reboot movie. Probably make it more interesting. But let's get back to the video. Going off on a tangent.
In the near future. Despite almost 3 decades of success, the Power Rangers got off to kind of a rocky start. If you remember correctly, 3 of the original cast members in the show's first season were replaced before the second season started filming.
Jeez.
Austin St. John, Twee Trang, and Walter Emmanuel Jones, aka the original Red, Yellow, and Black Power Rangers. And what happened there is a lesson in not only knowing your value to a project, but also taking action in order to get what you feel like you're worth. The first season of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a colossal success. This is huge for a television show and often huge for all the actors involved. Success means more. More episodes, more work, more fans, and usually more money. Oftentimes, when a show or a film is successful, the actors involved are able to negotiate higher salaries to continue their work. A good example of this is Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. He was paid a mere $500,000 to star in Iron Man 1. After the film's success.
Yeah, I believe, bro. I remember this news. I think Terrence Howard, who was the co-star, got paid more than this guy, which was crazy because I don't think that ever happened before. A main star got less than a co-star, but Terrence Howard was big at the moment when the Iron Man came out because he did The Hustle and Flow and all those other movies like that. So yeah, apparently I guess they didn't pay them more for some reason. Why they didn't go back for the second season? But I don't know. Let's see why.
Robert Downey Jr. was able to then negotiate a higher salary, and by the time he was filming Infinity War, he was estimated to have made about $75 million for the film. With the success of Power Rangers, it would seem reasonable that the cast was paid a fair wage based on the show's overnight success, right? Sadly, that was not the case. To understand this better, we'll need to take a look at the differences between union and non-union productions. The primary actors union for film and television is called the Screen Actors Guild, or SAG.
So let me get it these guys were super greedy. The people behind the show were like super greedy. They saw how popular this show was, and they didn't want to pay the actors more. Pretty sure that's what this is gonna go into, because greed ruins everything. It's like, you got something successful here with this show. Why not pay the people more and continue the success? But nope, that's what greed comes in and ruins a good thing. Let's continue.
Rather than make an attempt to fully explain union and labor laws, we're going to kind of gloss over some key details about the Screen Actors Guild. Working on a union project comes with a lot of benefits. First off, there are mandatory minimum wages. Actors are paid overtime if a production lasts longer than 10 hours in a day. They are entitled to benefits, and there are even bonus structures in place for working with hazards like fire or explosives, working with smoke, or even if performers are required to get wet, among others. There are a lot of bells and whistles that come from a SAG contract, but the point here is that a union like SAG ensures that performers are protected from exploitative working conditions and compensated fairly for their time.
No, you didn't.
Yes, they did. You can walk from it out.
No way, you're lying.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a non-union production, meaning that nobody working on the show was ever part of the Screen Actors Guild. There are no guidelines for paying or protecting performers or crew in a non-union project. The pay could be $50 per day, or even nothing at all. Some non-union projects even cite exposure as the pay, as if actors could pay their bills with exposure. The bottom line here is...
I mean, in a certain way you can if you get more famous. Sure, you might get more gigs, but at the end of the day, you got to pay these people, bro. Like, you can't, like what he said, you can get paid with exposure. I mean, in some way you can, but most of the times you're starving here while you're doing this popular TV show. You're just starving at home. You can't pay your light bill. That's just wild. That's just crazy.
Is that by switching production to non-union status, the production company behind Power Rangers, Saban Entertainment, was able to circumvent some of the most costly aspects of making a television show, namely, paying their performers. The cast of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were paid $600 per week. Given that shoots would often run long and were physically demanding,
the hell?
this wage is almost criminally low.
That's almost like a minimum wage. That's like, wow, that's crazy. You mean to tell me these people on this popular TV show got paid almost like minimum wage status? Wow, that is some scumbag crap, right? That is so scumbag. Jeez.
Saban took even further advantage of that non-union status and didn't offer any royalties for episodes in syndication for any members of the cast.
Wow.
The actors that were hired were all pretty new to the film television business.
So you mean to tell me after all these shows have been airing all this time, constantly being shown on these different services and streaming services right now, those actors didn't pay anything. They don't get any royalties from it. Yo, it was dirty back in the 90s, bro. Like, how was that even legal? That's messed up.
Austin St. John was a martial arts student and still in high school when he got cast. Tui Trang was a 20-year-old student of Shaolin Kung Fu, entering her first role. Amy Jo Johnson, who played Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, landed the role 1 month into her foray into acting. Blue Ranger David Yost was cast after only auditioning for 3 months. The point here is that these performers were inexperienced, young actors being offered a role in a television show for the first time.
So they took advantage of them, then, pretty much.
Thinking about the subtle nuances of contract negotiations when they accepted. As we stated earlier, the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a huge success. The actors were very, very aware of the show's exploding popularity, and as they watched the flood of merchandise sales grow to an overwhelming degree,
This is totally terrific.
they grew frustrated that they still were making $600 per
I
week.
would be
According to
pissed.
some of the cast members, there may have been an attempt to get the principal ensemble to push Saban Entertainment into creating a union production, but those talks fell through. After that happened, Austin St. John, Tui Trang, and Walter Emmanuel Jones stopped showing up to voiceover sessions in protest over their low wages.
I
There
would
were
too.
threats of leaving, and this battle of attrition went about as far as it could possibly go. There's that age-old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the most grease. Well, sometimes if the wheel is too squeaky, it gets replaced entirely. That's what happened to these 3 performers. Austin St. John was fired and replaced with the new Red Ranger, Rocky, played by Steve Cardenas. Walter Emmanuel Jones was replaced with Johnny Young Bosch.
I remember that guy who replaced him. I remember him.
Tui Trang was replaced with Karen Ashley.
I remember her
the new
too.
Yellow Ranger, Aisha.
I present to you the new Power Rangers. We will now start the ceremony to transfer power from Jason, Zack, and Trini to Rocky, Adam, and Aisha.
Just like that, it was over.
Damn. That's a little messed up. I just replaced it like that, bro. That is so messed up. I don't remember this Red Ranger. I don't remember this Red Ranger for some reason. I don't remember this guy at all. But I definitely remember these two. I remember the Black Ranger getting replaced with this guy. And I remember the Yellow Ranger being replaced in her because I remember that movie they had. These two, they were definitely in it. I don't know who this guy is, bro. I don't know. Like, I don't remember this guy at all, but okay.
The message was sent to the rest of the cast that you can and will be replaced if necessary.
Jeez.
After all, these characters spent over half of every episode inside of a dinosaur helmet that disguised their identity. So the rationale was likely that it didn't really matter who was in the suit. A few of the other cast members dropped off pretty quickly after those three got fired. Amy Jo Johnson left the show in the middle of season 2 due to safety concerns. She was almost set on fire during the production of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
What?
During the filming of 1997's Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Things that likely
What
wouldn't
the-
have happened on a union project. David Yost hung in there
Yo.
until Power Rangers Zeo.
How y'all making all this money and y'all can't get this stuff together, bro? Wow, that's Hollywood, bro. You making all this money, but you can't pay these people? You can't make sure the stuff is safe on the set? Jeez.
Despite being bullied on set due to his sexuality.
I kind of heard about this too. Heard about the situation too with the Blue Ranger.
There have been over 20 different actors to play every different Power Ranger. In fact, the swapping of cast members has become an expected part of the Power Rangers universe. They took the initial firing of those first 3 Power Rangers and effectively made it into a canonical element of the show.
Zordon, what are we gonna do without a Pink Ranger?
There is somebody out there that can take my place. Hi, everyone.
I remember her.
It's all yours now.
It continues to serve the show well in terms of keeping things fresh and also eliminates
Don't
any
know who these
leverage that a
people
cast
are.
member might be able to use against the production company. In 2018, after Hasbro acquired Power Rangers from Saban, it was announced that the show was moving toward hiring union performers. But still, that's almost 25 years of getting away with dramatically underpaying your performers.
Messed
It's part
up,
of the
bro.
reason that there is a necessity for agents, managers, and labor unions in the entertainment industry. A lot of this comes down to what is in the writing. Non-union contracts can have tricky language, and in them, performers may sign their rights to overtime away. They may waive their rights to getting paid for rehearsals and not even know it. Whatever the case may be, your personal value isn't determined by a contract, or a membership to a fancy union, or anything like that. Your personal value is determined by you, and you alone. In the case of the Power Rangers, these performers felt like they were worth more than $600 per week, made a stand, and ultimately were cut loose. But just because they were fired doesn't diminish their value. Despite getting replaced on the show, Austin St. John and Walter Emmanuel Jones are still making appearances at conventions across the nation.
Yeah, 'cause
Johnson
I
has
do
found-
still see them at conventions though. Like we do like show like the YouTube clips of them at conventions. I do see them still there. So apparently they're not too upset, or they're getting paid still somehow with the conventions being in place. But that is scumbagish at the end of the day. Like, do you really can pay these guys? They told they're pretty much replaceable. Like, really? You got this successful show, you just replacing the actors like that? That's like, wow. And you're not making sure the stuff's safe on set. The people got set on fire or electrocuted, whatever craziness happened. That's crazy.
Success as a filmmaker. She successfully crowdfunded her first feature film, The Space Between, in 2017. David Yost started his own clothing company back in Texas. Heck, even the voice of Alpha, Richard Horvitz, has gone to become a voiceover legend as the voice of Zim in Nickelodeon's Invader Zim.
Okay.
In an industry that is constantly taking advantage of its performers, sometimes the only person you can really trust is yourself. And that's it for today's episode of Nerdstalgic. If you enjoyed it, press the like button down below. If you haven't yet done so, please also hit subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you all for our next video.
That is interesting because that one guy, like I said, the Tommy, the White Ranger and Green Ranger, he's been in almost a lot of these different seasons, different TV shows. So I guess he was just down for getting a paycheck. He didn't care, but yeah, I definitely would have quit too. The way they were talking about it, people were getting like, I would have did. I mean, I guess because you getting more, you can like exposure to anything because this show is really popular. But it's just like, is your health really worth it though? That's why these people are quitting left and right. But yeah, that is just wild. Like you just look at the history behind something you loved as a kid, and you find the secrets behind the scenes stuff. It's just crazy. I'm pretty sure it's probably definitely changed now because, like they said 25 years later it did change because that is just wild, the stuff they were revealing here. But yeah, that is insane. That's what happens when these companies were super greedy. That's like you had a good thing going because this was definitely the most popular season of Power Rangers, but they were just Hollywood being super corrupt and just being so greedy. Like they couldn't treat these people like they deserve to be treated, which is a shame. But definitely want to see your thoughts down below in this video. Leave a like for this video as well as reaction. As always, thanks for watching and peace.